Hey, how are you doing? I hope you're well. Sorry to interrupt your scrolling. Just had an inspiration. I was walking around the house this morning, and so for a few days now, I haven't really been listening to Buga online radio, which is the radio station I started a couple of years ago, um, essentially to bring or curate inspiration for whoever it is that needs it. Right? I know you haven't listened to it. It's okay. You will one day when you need it, right? Because that's what it's there for. It's really about creating inspiration. But what came to my mind while I was walking around was remembering my love for radio in general. And I remember I had a memory of when I was about um, 17, and it could be earlier, probably 13, 14, 15, where I had a dream of a radio station, but it only played music. I always really loved music. I love music now. I loved music then. It's kind of like the center of my soul. And what I remembered was the radio station that would just play music and not being interrupted by advertising and all of those things and blah blah blah, the stuff that we hear on the radio. Um, yeah, of course, I grew up, studied commerce, studied a little bit, well, a lot actually, and in my studying and learning and paying attention to how media works and how radio works and all of those things. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to have a radio station that just plays music and doesn't necessarily have some advertising on it. At least for now, it could be different. I mean, I see some other channels that kind of do that, but I feel there's some kind of a financial model that goes with it, right? I'm not an idiot. Money is important. So, but what are the ways in which to do it while at the same time balancing what the need for this is? So, I think the message I'm trying to send through, other than to say, I don't understand why you're not listening to Pura yet, because right now at this time in the world, if if inspiration has ever been needed in the world, it's now. So just tune in www.vugaonlineradio.co.za. It's not radio, by the way, because that's also another thing. It's actually an inspiration platform in the form of radio. So don't compare it to the other radio stations. You can listen to your radio stations and listen to all the things that you really love listening to. But when you need inspiration, you know where to find it, right? So that's essentially what this is. But I think the big message though is your dreams are valid all the time. Many times we grow up to listen to the world tell us whatever it is that's planted in us is not the truth. But the fact of the matter is, if you really pay attention, and I'm like one of the luckiest people in the world because I've learned to listen somehow. I've been trying to help teach people to listen. It's a really hard thing to do, to really see the patterns in your life and how what has been planted in you by God, by the universe, however you want to think about it. But I really do believe truly that none of us is really here for nothing. In fact, one of the other reflections I had this morning was about how my names, all of them, my first, middle, and last name, left me no chance but to do this work. So, what am I saying? If you pay attention to what life is calling you for, you actually will find that it's always been there. And as I was reflecting this morning on this radio thing, as I was reflecting on the work that I do in the world in terms of evoking excellence in others, as I was reflecting on what are some of the things that keep me busy, what are the things that give me energy, evoking excellence in others, helping other people really find their excellence, whether it's through radio, on television. I think you guys probably know I'm on Sonhouten television every Thursday morning, right? Doing exactly the same thing, teaching, training, and all that. Every single thing I do is really about the validation and making real these dreams. Your dreams are valid. Don't let anybody tell you they're not. But it's really important to also find a way to bring them to reality in a more practical sense, because a dream only without any kind of plan is a nightmare. However, a plan without a dream is really just a lot of work. So where do you find, I don't really like the word balance, where do you find a space or an anchor, a sweet spot that essentially continuously reminds you why you are here, why you are different, why you are 1 in 8 billion? I can promise you, if you really find out, chances are your life will change. You will be healthier, you will be happier, you will add value like never before. Doesn't mean you won't stress, it doesn't mean you won't be in trouble. But what it means though is that you know where to go to bounce back. Because when stuff, I'm using another word there, when stuff hits the fan, that's where you go when you're asking a question, what am I putting myself, why am I putting myself through this? So that's all I really wanted to say. I wanted to just say your dreams are valid. Pay attention to what your spirit is calling, and don't think it's impossible. You see, that's the reason that this is happening, because I have spoken too long. So don't think it's impossible. Do what you need to do. Speak to a coach, speak to someone, but don't forget your dreams. That's all I really wanted to say before this thing falls again. I wish you a lovely win, a lovely day, but don't forget, if you need inspiration, I won't be doing all of these videos all the time. I do them once in a while, but 24/7, www.vugaonlineradio.co.za. That's where you'll find all curated inspiration, all the things that I find inspiring. But it also has news, it has views. So you're not forgetting the world, you're connecting with the world, but at an inspirational level. So I wish you an inspirational day. Ciao.